guys, it's Sophie. So I'm going to be doing a tag video today. I have a fair few things I've been tagged in recently, so I'm going to have to try and get through those, so just be aware there's going to be a few of these. I really like them, hopefully you guys do too. So the one I'm going to be doing today is the summer reading tag, because I'm very aware that summer's petty in the UK, and if I don't talk about it when it's here, it will just disappear and it will no longer be appropriate. So I'm just going to catch it whilst it's still sunny and hopefully get in there before the rain starts. I was tagged by Jen, as in Jen Campbell, whose channel I'm sure all of you have heard of. If you haven't for some reason, then please check it out. She's one of those sort of queens of booktube. So yeah, go check that channel out. And we'll jump into the tag. So the first question is, what 3 books do you want to read this summer? Now, as we'll learn as we go through this tag, summer's kind of long book season for me, and these are no exception. The first one you guys are already aware of, that's Infinite Jest, which I am working my way through. Look at that, that's progress. I'm just a little bit over 25% of the way through at the moment. I'm trying to do 100 pages a week, so probably this will slip into September somewhat. But yeah, I'm liking it so far. More tennis than I imagined. The next one I want to get to is Suttree by Cormac McCarthy. Adam Memento Mori just keeps telling me how good this is, and every time I feel this deep sense of guilt that I haven't yet picked it up, because I know I'm going to love it. So yeah, I'm going to get to this one soon, but I'm going to have to wait just because it is fairly large until Infinite Jest is wrapped up, I think. And the last one I'm considering reading alongside Infinite Jest, but I don't know if I want to do that to my brain. It's The Gene by Siddhartha Mukherjee. You guys know I love The Emperor of Maladies, and I just really badly want to read this, and I don't know that I'm going to be able to wait until I finish Infinite Jest to jump in, and who knows, given the way Infinite Jest works, this might actually help me understand some of what's going on in there. And the next question is, what character do you think embodies the traits of summer? So it's going to be a YA book, and I don't really talk about YA in here anymore, but it's going to be Alaska from Looking for Alaska. I don't like Alaska, but I think she really reminds me of summer. She comes in, you think you want her, and she seems to have her own plan and life goals, and she just kind of messes everything up. That's kind of what summer does for me. I've just got to a temperature now where I don't think I'm functioning anymore. I'm a winter creature. I am destined for piles of snow and woodland. I'm not made for this. And then the next question is, what book do you think embodies the physicality of summer? I've chosen Mislaid by Nell, which you guys know I read fairly recently. And this isn't sort of straight up a really summery read, but for me it's that sort of school feeling. So I'll just kind of explain a little bit. I was at a boarding school for my secondary school. I didn't board, I was a day student, but we had boarding houses where people did. And one of my best friends when I was in school, her dad ran one of the boarding houses. So quite often in my summer I would be back at school, but in a completely kind of different school than the one I knew in term time. It would be really quiet and empty, and all the fields would be empty, and we just like go around on roller skates and like go and sit on the top of buildings that we weren't supposed to, and get told off by the groundsman. And so that sort of element in this book of being at school or being at college in a slightly different manner to being a student, it really reminds me of my summers. And the next one is sort of, what books do you like to take with you on holiday, or what kinds of books do you tend to read in the summer? We've talked about that I read long books in the summer, but mostly it's fantasy. So I don't read a lot of fantasy. It's a very rare occurrence on this sort of channel. But I actually do quite like having a fantasy series to jump into. Game of Thrones is the one I'm holding up. I think I read 5 of the Game of Thrones books last summer, and then the summer before I did Trudi The Priestess of the White series, and there's 3 of these. And then before that I did, I think, The Cushion's Dart, which is 6 books. So yeah, I don't know, I think it's tended to be that I had a bit more freedom to be reading longer things, and I got used to it when I was a kid, when I was at school, when I was at university. I had a lot of time off from school, and that was the time to like dive into big things. I've not gone for fantasy this time, I've still gone for really long stuff, but I think it tends to be fantasy for me. The next question is, if you had to take an author on holiday, and I say have because I agree with people, I don't think I'd want to go on holiday with authors, but yeah, if you had to take an author on holiday, who would you take, and where would you go, and what would you do? I would take Danielewski on a road trip. and I would somehow learn how to drive because I can't drive, but I would make sure that he couldn't get out and run away and leave and be all enigmatic and sneaky, and I would try and convince him to take me to the house with a door that shouldn't be there, because I'm still not entirely convinced that this isn't a factual account. I mean, I know it's fiction, but I think I want it to be real so badly that I would take him around and probably scare him half to death trying to make him tell me where this house is. And the next question is, what's your book of the year so far? No spoilers, I'm not doing that. You're going to have to wait till the end of the year. Question 7 is, how did you spend your summer holidays as a child? So I've already spoken about the fact that I spent quite a lot of it at school, but when I wasn't at school, my family used to do these epically long holidays, like camping holidays in France. So because I was one of the kids, I had 5 weeks in a go in France, and basically my mum would come out, so my grandparents come out for 2 weeks and they'd look after us, my mum and my dad would come out for 2 weeks and look after us, and my grandma and granddad would come back for the last week, and we'd stay there the whole time. And they're one of the best memories I have of my childhood, is those summers, and it was just freedom and the beach and kids from all over the world, and yeah, it was really lovely, and I don't know, it's like another version of yourself when you get to be free and away from all the stuff that's normal and homely for such a length of time, and yeah, it was absolutely incredible. I'm so thankful to my family that they thought, you know, they'd give us those really amazing summers. And the last question is, what are your plans for this summer? So not much. I'm going to be honest, my work is kind of mad at the moment, so I do my role, which is an HR role, but unfortunately there are 2 people who've left the business whose roles I've had to take on as well. So mostly my summer has been at work. I've had to do Saturdays for the last month or so, and I'm not doing one this weekend, but will be doing at least through into September. So not all that much that's too exciting, but I don't mind too much. I'm more of a winter holiday person, because I do city breaks rather than staying in a beach. So I think I'm going to try and go to Rome in November, which more than makes up for not having gone anywhere in the summer. I'm going to tag a couple people. I'm going to tag Nicola from Robotnik, I'm going to tag Vanessa from Jaboski, I'm going to tag Adam from Memento Mori because I know he doesn't like to be missed out, and who else will I tag? Let's tag Philippa from the Garden of Reading as well. All of those channels I just mentioned are brilliant, by the way, so if you aren't subscribed to all of them, please go and do so. I hope that you're well. I hope you've liked hearing me chat a little bit about what summer is to me, mostly irritation, sweatiness and just waiting for autumn, but that's just who I am as a human. It's not the fault of the weather. Yeah, and I will see you soon in my next video, which is going to be a book review. Bye bye. This one is something completely different again, and I'm loving all the kind of different stories I'm going at the moment, but this story is talking about a young boy who is drawn in by this mysterious message left on a notice board, and it's for an old man who's seeking companionship.